This file shows you how to do the hole tool, which is covered in chapter 4 of the textbook. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to My Shared Drive and find the Parts folder, and go to Hole Tool, and here's the file you need. If for whatever reason file locations change, please look on your paper to figure out where it should be now. Okay, so the part is now open. What you're going to want to do first is hit this button here called Hole. So this creates holes based on many different options. So if I click this, you'll notice that it automatically defaults to From Sketch here. That is because there are two unconsumed sketches, which unconsumed just means they're not consumed or underneath an extrusion or some other feature. The other options, which you're going to see throughout this video, From Sketch, Linear, Concentric, and OnPoint. We'll go over those one at a time as we do the tasks in the textbook. Okay, so what we're going to do though is hit cancel here because Inventor's not automatically finding the sketch which you want to use for the first hole. So we're going to hide sketch 5. And now sketch 4 is the only active sketch. So I'm going to again hit Hole Tool, and you'll see now this arrow is not red anymore. It was red in the last time because it did not know which sketch to use. So now it's automatically finding the point on the sketch, and it wants you to click the Counterbore option. So these are the different hole styles that we talked about. If you hover over them, you'll see there's just plain drilled, Counterbore, spot face, and countersink. So to do Counterbore, we're going to click there. It wants the main diameter to be 20, or the counterbore diameter, and the depth to be 2. Then the hole diameter through to be 6, which is a pretty wide and shallow hole, but we'll go with that. So now you have your first hole here on the feature browser. Okay, we're going to do another hole, and this time on sketch 5, so we're going to turn the visibility back on. Here you can see for this sketch, if I click on it, you can see the points are here, here, and here, so you will expect to see the hole tool automatically picking those center points. And there you go, you can see that those 3 are automatically selected with the same size hole as the prior one. Now, we do not want this one to have a hole in it, so what we're going to do is hit the Control key to unselect it and click on it, and now you'll see that it only has these 2 selected. So we're going to choose the spot face option. The spot face is essentially the same as the counterbore with the exception of the depth measurement. In the spot face, it's actually the depth of the hole is measured from the bottom up rather than from the top down. So I'm going to set these to the following numbers. Now, there's this termination down here. This is very similar to the extrude feature where you can pick distance or through all and so on. So here we're going to change it to distance so that the hole does not go the whole way through the part. So that'll be 8. That will be only 1, which is common for a spot face, for that to be a very shallow hole. Okay, so now you can see all of these numbers are set, and this hole looks drastically different than that one. So we just did counterbore and spot face. Okay, so now we want to make a hole here, which was part of sketch 5. However, if I hit the hole tool, it's not going to automatically find the sketch because it is now consumed by the second hole we made. So I'm going to click up here and turn the visibility back on. And hit hole tool again, and there it is. It's automatically selected it. Now we're just going to do a simple drilled hole, which is this. You can see down here, as long as this is set to simple, you have what it's asking you to do. And we want the termination to be through all. So now we don't have to set the depth. All we have to do is set the diameter of the hole, which is 9. Now that's going the whole way through the part. Okay. I'm going to turn this visibility off. And now I'm going to hit the hole tool again. But now because there are no sketches that are active or unconsumed, you'll see that the default is no longer from sketch. And it picked the next one down, which is linear. We actually want to change it to concentric. So if you remember, concentric means two things that share the same center point. So what it wants is for you to pick a plane, which defines the surface where the hole will be started from. So if you were to drill this hole, where would you start from? So for that, I'm going to pick this top surface. And for concentric reference, okay, now that we selected the plane, we need to pick what we want it to be concentric to. So I'm going to click that arrow, make sure that's highlighted, and we're going to pick the yellow surfaces on here. And it thinks we only want one, but we actually want two, so I'm going to come back and click this again. And it only allows us to do one at a time. I forgot about that. So we're going to do one of these, and same thing 2 times in a row. The type of hole we want here is a countersink, which is this shape where it looks like it's funneling down all into one point, which is why I like to say, remember, it's like a sink. And the sizes are as follows. So this specifies the diameter at the top of the angled hole. We're going to leave that at 90 degrees and 8 millimeters. I want you to note it's 90 degrees from this line to that line, so the whole distance across. It's not 90 to the bottom of the hole. So you can think of this angle itself as a 45. Okay, that's one. Let's do it again. Those should all be set to the same thing because we did it already. Okay, now we're going to rotate the view to this green side. We're going to pick hole and the OnPoint selection. So for OnPoint, what you're doing is you're picking a point. So it's something that you would already have up here, which is a work point. Somehow you have a point already on the part. So I'm going to pick the point first, and then the direction that you want the hole to follow. This is not one that I commonly use, but it's something that's good to know that it exists because every once in a while you need that quirky method. So if you look, it's picking that point and it's picking the direction. If you need to change direction, so you can see that the arrow is coming out, so that would mean that the hole is coming out of the part. You actually want to go into the part, so you flip directions by clicking here. Now obviously that is not the size hole that we would want here. Okay, we're going to change this to a simple hole. And we want, rather than termination of through all, we want it to go to. And here we're going to pick a surface to go to. All right, and we're going to check the terminate feature option and change this to 3.6. And it looks like I have to pause this recording, so pick this back up in part 2.